Here goes Cal. Up the waterfall. Yeah. Wow, it's not too bad. Yes. Up the waterfall he goes. Woo! That's a little chilly. I didn't realize how low this was. I gotta crawl this. It's very low. I did not realize how low it was. I mean the ceiling. When the ceiling's low, I gotta, drag my body through this. This is a very unforgiving situation. But I forgive me. Let's talk about forgiving yourself. I'm just kidding. So having a good time here. We like to use some of our filming on TikTok, but I find that if I grunt or growl my way through a situation, that seems to turn off the powers that be to delete our videos. So I'm just having a great time safely going through this water pit, which I like. I like water. I like being in here. It's very safe, following all safety protocols as we go through a 6-7 inch passage where the ceiling is lava and the floor is water. Whew. Yep. It's a really fun kind of thing, activity. Nobody do it. Warning, the actions and stunts performed in this video were done so by experts.
Do not enter a cave without a cave tour guide.
And the nice thing about being in here is you won't get lost because the creek is the pathway. One more pond. This is where the other guys decided that was enough. Lost enough for the day. I have warmer gear on, so whoop, there it is. I see him. I'm out.
So for today's caving adventure, I'm with a couple of the lead cavers of our little caving group, caving community, and they move quickly. It is raining super hard. Everything is flooding, and we're going to go in a cave that can flood. It's very rare that it fills with water, but as you can see, it has been raining and raining. It is just an absolute deluge. And the reason we're going is to find water, because we've never seen water in this cave before. It's an erosional cave, so it definitely gets water in it, but it almost only gets water when it is flooding.
Today is Flood Watch Day. The plan for our cavers is to enter and study an erosional cave, actively being carved out by flash flood conditions. With the rivers quickly rising and the hard rain pouring down, they should be able to witness this flood stage event firsthand. This also prevents one of the greatest dangers they will confront, the possibility that the cave could flood out entirely while they are inside. With the risk being great, yet the reward of seeing the immediate eroding and enlarging of the cave is too rare and exciting an opportunity to pass up.
What a nasty pit. I better hurry up. Those guys are flying through here. So this is a tree cast that I'm crawling through. And the neat thing about this thing is the print on it is just really nice. It's a nice small one, so crawling through it will give you a little claustrophobia if you suffer from such conditions.
Tree casts are formed when lava overtakes a landscape, pushing with its flow trees and foliage. The cooling lava makes mold prints of the outside of the tree before burning it away, leaving a hollow cast. In the case of this cave, there is a log jam of tree casts which can be followed in a kind of maze from the surface to an erosional cave hidden deep below.
And then the only way to go is to drop down and to continue in this tree cast, which goes back the other way. I got to go down into this tree cast here. Next level stuff, man. That is just awesome. And then I make my way along here and you crawl along this. This tree cast is cool because the bottom of it is full of sand, because I suspect this is where the creek begins. All I can see because your headlamps on is your headlamps.
The cavers prepare for the last phase of the cave entrance, which is a low sand crawl, a series of squeezes and drops into the underground creek bed.
So this is the transition from the erosional, or from the lava cave to the erosional cave. And this is done by sliding oneself under the lava ceiling, basalt, through this sandy floor to the pit of despair.
Oscar leads the cavers in their continued descent into the erosional cave. The sand crawl was previously dug open by the cavers, connecting the lava tree casts to the watery cave below.
Saw Oscar disappear down there so quickly. I just couldn't keep up because he's got to slip down in. And that's the way it is. Okay, let's see what we got ourselves into here. We call this the canyons. And this is where the water has eroded this cave all the way down to where there's almost nothing. I mean, where it's like 10, 12 feet deep. Cool. And there's a couple places here where there's even some little waterfalls, which I'll try to find. But it gets pretty narrow. But this is neat, so I'm starting to walk through a little bit of water here.
There is already signs the cave is beginning to fill with water. This is good news for the cavers who want to examine the erosional process, but it will also be the trip's chief danger.
Just flash flooding, so this cave flash floods. The lower we get, the deeper the water will get. But this is pretty outstanding. You can see how the rocks and the mud have all, it's erosion. But you can see along the sides how cool that is. I'm gonna have to go up and over here. So I'm going above the canyons here. Yeah, this is neat. You're just gonna be, ow, I lied. The saucer coming up the canyons.
When you're crafting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you really gotta layer the peanut butter and not too much jelly. And you want to use wheat bread because white bread is not good for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But I digress. Some people don't like peanut butter.
Oscar crawls down into the lower portion of the so-called canyons. Though this puts him at greater risk for rock and debris falling on him as the water rises, it affords him a closer look at the sediment layers which have developed over thousands of years on the cave walls.
And it's raining outside, so this cave is filling up with water. If you ever wonder what it's like, what happens if it rains and the cave fills with water, that is happening in here right now. And you can see the sediment layers. Each layer, what kind of rocks? This is bedrock here, or it's bigger stones. And up there is smaller stones. And I'll show you the transition from bedrock to stone. From up here, dirt, big stones here coming down, bedrock right there. Pretty cool. There's a lot of this in here too. It's burned logs from 10,000, this is a 10,000-year-old burned log, so it's just charcoal. Charcoal has a nice long lifespan, so.
The rising water forces the cavers out of the canyons into a different area of the cave, so they begin their ascent out of the watery flow.
Yeah, we're with our tour cave tour guide. I don't know.
I have a map.
We make up 90% of it. You have a map in your head, that's the problem.
Oh,
Your memory
yeah. I
map.
made the map.
Yeah.
The cave has struck its first blow. Caveman has taken rocks and mud to the face. Without proper caving headgear, this could have halted the expedition. But they move on.
I've knocked a couple big rocks down. I know that time. Otherwise, I'd be bleeding, I think. Which I may be, but it's not a broken jaw.
Yeah. Or a bruised rib.
I don't like caving with you guys because I can't complain about stuff.
The crew continues downstream, even as the water rises. These moments are tense as the point of no return is getting near. No matter how tough these cavers are, there will be a place where the water prevents them from going any further, and their exploration of an active erosional cave will quickly come to an end. The deepening water is now turning the cavers away. They can gain passageway, but only if they are willing to swim. I volunteered to continue as far as I could through the flooded passage.
I'm gonna crawl out this water hole. That's the way it is. I don't know the way here. I know what I'm looking for. Ain't that way. Yeah, I gotta go down the creek. There is no other way. It is going to be waterworks. And you and I are going for a swim.
Crawling through the creek is not without purpose. There is one last segment of the cave which is hidden downstream and may provide more insight as to the rate at which the creek erodes the cave lining. Though the possibility of flooding is increasing by the moment, there is still a little time to attempt to find the hidden room.
Creek crossing right now. Woo! I am embedded in the water. Woo! That's pretty cold. That is gonna have to be okay. I can get to the side here a bit of these rapids. And then it's just a pool of water. It's a big swimming pool in here. It's certainly interesting. Through this, I think the cave goes up and over, and I'm curious where it goes. But I don't know if I can get through this when it's so full of water. It's not warm water, and I wouldn't do this if I was, miles and miles underneath, but... So I explored around a little bit without the camera because it's very dangerous. And I found some tree casts that I have no idea where they go. They just go up and over and around, but they got really tight, and it would have, it's good footage, but I'm a little wary of doing this now that my body's a little bit colder, being back in here in the cave, and I gotta go back to these ponds. So best I can do is I'm just gonna hold this, and I'd love to get good footage, but I'd also love to get out of the cave. So I'm going to crawl through the pond. There's 2 ponds I gotta crawl through. It's not a problem. I'm just gonna sploosh through them. That'll make it a faster experience. And once I'm through the ponds, I'm fairly safe. I need to get back to where the guys are. They know I'm here, so it's not a problem. But I also don't want to get jammed up a long ways away. So I'm gonna stop here and rejoin our little erosional cave group.
As the floodwaters rise, a caver must make a rush through the water tunnel in hopes of reaching higher ground before the passage is sealed off completely, battling both cold temperatures and the possibility of getting stuck underwater. I prepare to make a dash for it.
Whoop, there it is. I see him. I'm out! Okay. Trying to keep the flashlights above the water too, although everything I have today is waterproof. Except for the battery in my pocket, but it's in a couple plastic bags. Did it survive? That seems like a 50-50 proposition. Okay, now I'm through the ponding, and now there's a little bit of water up here. I still gotta just commit to. Whoa, that's really something. My gear worked good though, my minimal gear. I have my flashlight set up a little bit differently. Just however it turned out is how it turned out, but I feel like it carried well. I was able to hold this. My left arm is getting real buffed from holding the GoPro such a way. So after this, there's no more squeezes. It's the canyons, and then back to the surface where it's freezing outside. So a nice cool hike home, and we be doing this, man.
Back with the team, all are agreed that there is no reason to attempt to continue further. The exit is pursued with care and haste.
I gotta turn around.
Oh, you gotta go back.
The cavers allow one another to get through each challenge on their own. This is often the mode of operation, as each caver must look out for themselves to a certain degree, if possible, in case there is ever a similar situation without assistance being available. Teamwork may be helpful in many situations, but there are times where there is no team and the individual must have the personal resources available to get through challenges.
Do I even need to crawl? I can kind of stoop walk this. I can do the one knee. The one knee shuffle. Well, it's pretty wet back here. We're in the creek now.
Calvin needs to come back here in the summertime and push all these leaves.
Maybe in the winter, I'm not afraid.
Yeah, but I'd rather prefer to come save you in the summertime.
That's right.
No, Calvin, you're going. Oh, there you are. Okay. I saw your hand going past.
Oh, I was going to keep going. Can you not? The way out, not the way we came, though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I pay attention to a lot of things.
I guess not.
This is how I get lost in caves. This is the last sand crawl, and I'm coming in this room where Oscar and Arlen, who are brothers, are waiting. They will leave me. Coming through the sand squeeze. It's a tricky entrance. This puts me out here in the lava cave where there's an entrance to the lava tube or to daylight. And today, for now, I'm gonna come out to the daylight. Woo! That's a tricky little squeeze. We are home free, my friends. Woo! That's pretty tricky. That's enough. That's enough. Let's get out.
Although not a perfect caving day, they were able to observe the underside of the earth with water flowing through it. It's rare that floodwaters can be examined firsthand without creating tremendous amounts of danger. We were able to push the boundaries of what was considered safe caving, while getting a close look at the erosional cave being carved ever deeper, right before our eyes.
Now we're having a great time.
We're having a great time, Calvin.
Do you know what the theory of happiness is? They did a study on various countries, which country was the happiest, and they tried to actually figure out what the actual difference was. And it was the happier people had low expectations.
We appreciate you watching our video adventures. If you liked what you saw, feel free to hit that subscription button or share with your friends and family and neighbors. However, if you didn't like what you saw, feel free to leave a very negative comment about how we completely ignored all safety protocols, as well as block us. We consider that to be high praise.
And for more in-depth caving videos, please visit our side channel, Even Darker. And we will see you on the ground.